of August 13th, 2025 to order. Board Secretary, can you please conduct the roll call?
Board Member Corinne. Board Member Winderbaum. Vice Chair Parker. Chair Basili.
Here.
Let it reflect we have 4 members.
Our next item is the acceptance of the agenda. The board can discuss and amend the order of the agenda. I'd like to entertain a motion and a second for acceptance of the agenda.
I move that we accept the agenda.
Can I get a second? Great. Board
Chair.
Secretary?
Before you accept the agenda, we had the appellant email the city clerk's office and advised that they requested to postpone the item. I did let them know that it's up to the board's decision if we want to reorder the agenda and put it at the end to give them time to join and or postpone it to September's meeting.
I can change my motion.
Sure.
Okay, I move that we move the appellant's appeal to the end of the agenda and then approve the agenda. Does that make sense? Can I do that? Okay.
Okay. Can I get a second on that? Okay, Board Secretary, can you take a vote?
Vice Chair Parker.
Aye.
Board Member Corinne. Board Member Winderbaum.
Aye.
Chair Basili.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. The next section is public comment. I don't know if we're going to have any, but the next item is public comment. This time set aside for members of the public to address the board on items of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. 3 minutes will be assigned to each speaker. Although the board values your comments pursuant to the Brown Act, the board generally cannot take any action on items not listed on the posted agenda. Testimony for the hearing will only be taken at the time of the hearing. Board Secretary, please begin the public comment period.
We did have Francine McDougall request to speak. However, she's not online or in person.
Okay. All right. So we're going to skip over number 4 and bring it back to the end. Is that what we're planning on doing? We'll bring it back to the board to decide whether or not we're going to either give the appellant a chance to address this. Okay. So then let's go on to the next item. We don't have any reports, so I guess we're going to have to jump right down to item number 5. Discussion of the overview for vacation rental ordinances, and I think the city has something to discuss with us on the packet that they gave us.
Yes, Chair. Cassandra, does the presentation pull up on the monitor in front of me or just the screen? Oh, there it goes. Oh, I got it. Mitch just helped me. Perfect. Cool. Yes, thank you, Chair. Board members, my name is Patrick Clifford with the Department of Special Program Compliance, and we did put together a presentation with review of the vacation rental ordinance recommendations that the board placed together, just to review and get some additional conversation in as we head into the fall when we look to go into the vacation rental amendments and bring those forward to the City Council. And so there are some procedures that we noticed that are currently in place, or I could say partially in place, and we do believe that the recommendations from the Administrative Appeals Board will help further our direction to reach more goals with the vacation rental ordinance, as we did want to bring those forward and just kind of show what is currently in place with our administrative procedures, as well what might be in the vacation rental ordinance, and then also support that the recommendations the board has brought forward, and hopefully with the recommendations and what's currently in the ordinance, they complement each other as we go forward with ordinance revisions. So when we reviewed the recommendations for the administrative process, specifically looking at the escrow and title recommendations and disclosures that the board brought forward, we do have currently an administrative regulation that was dated back in June 2022 that directs that this disclosure should be provided in real estate closing documents for all closing properties here in the city of Palm Springs. I know from an administrative procedure, we have shared that with the Realtors Board here in Coachella Valley. We've reached out to the state as well to communicate that we have such disclosures in place. Just how far it went from there, we have not received any additional feedback. So whether those documents are being used or not, really it's in the hands of the realtors that might be doing the operations here in the city. From a staff's perspective, though, we do know that the realtors here in the valley are pretty fluent with regulations across the Coachella Valley. It seems that there might be concerns that realtors outside of the city of Palm Springs may be the ones that we want to reach out to or try to find a way to close that gap. And I think with recommendations from the Administrative Appeals Board, that might be something that'll help us look forward to as far as how do we get these documents actually in the closing documents, and whatever process that means for us to reach that. But I think our opportunities there are really trying to reach out to the out-of-city or out-of-local area realtors to reach out to. As with respect to the outreach programs, the city does do stakeholder meetings quarterly where we invite all stakeholders to the vacation rental. It's usually held via Zoom. Attendance is fairly regular. I wouldn't say it's no more. Currently, the last few we've had is no more than probably 30 attendees that show up, and they can be current vacation rental owners. They could be citizens that are just interested in the vacation rental conversation in general. But these meetings are usually emailed or broadcast out to anyone that's signed up on our vacation rental email list. And then we notice the meeting with an agenda, and they're welcome to join and participate. And the topics of discussion usually go from anything from just reviewing current trends as far as nuisances and violations, or when we did the latest ordinance updates in 2022, just kind of educating on what those are. Local realtors are allowed to participate as such to that nature. Again, kind of talking about maybe out of local areas, may not so if they're not signed up with our newsletters and stakeholder meetings. So again, kind of identifying what we take from the recommendations is, how do we take the next step further, and as far as identify maybe out of network or out of local area realtors or stakeholders that might be interested in vacation rentals, and how do we reach them as far as educating and informing them of what our local rules are. Again, and then looking at maybe opportunities related to the MLS that might not reach them with our stakeholder group email, trying to reach out to see how we can get them involved with education on and of the vacation rental ordinance.
Hey, Patrick?
Yes.
Can we ask you some questions along the way?
Nope. Yes, feel free.
Okay, so this outreach, how, kind of alluded to it, I think, but how is that advertised? How do they know that it's happening? How do they know the date and time and all that good stuff?
Yeah, of course. So it's all on our email list. So whoever subscribed to that email list will send out through our mail service. It's like a online web service that we create, kind of like an email blast. It goes out and it'll have a link to the Zoom with the date and time as that. And then we'll usually publish that on our website. If there's constituents that are looking to visit our website, they can see that under the upcoming stakeholder meeting as well.
Okay.
That's primarily via email.
Okay, so your email list, though, is it consist of vacation rental owners?
It's a mix. It's whoever signs up. And so
Just whoever voluntarily signs up?
Correct,
Okay. I wonder, though, and I think this is probably what we were getting at when we proposed this, is there more that we can do specific to the real estate community versus the existing vacation rental owners? Meaning that the realtors will help them through the process, which I think you're alluding to, but has there been any consideration to maybe getting on the agenda for the weekly, is it weekly that they hold the real estate meetings? What, like one of the weekly calls for the
Weekly MLS meetings.
MLS meeting?
I saw that as a recommendation, so I think that's an opportunity for us to grasp on as far as how do we reach the additional stakeholders that might not be participating in our calls.
Okay.
But the recommendation I saw from AAB board helps probably close that gap and give us better opportunity to reach out.
Okay.
So we have in the past attended the actual meetings with the realtors.
You have?
Yes. So we've done that outreach before. and we can definitely start it up again. It's been a while since we've done it, but when we had the administration reg with the requirement of the one-page documents that outlines the requirements for vacation rentals, which was reviewed by Veyron as well, it was presented at one of their meetings. So we can definitely do a refresher with
that's a good
them,
idea.
rather than get on a call. I think an in-person refresher so they can ask questions. We could definitely get that agendized.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And I don't know how many actually attend in person. I think most of them are done.
Well, I was also thinking, as we were talking, that perhaps maybe also not only attending the MLS meetings, but just a brief visit to each real estate office when they're doing their weekly meetings, and maybe introducing the guidelines as well. It's just, unfortunately, with the MLS meetings, not every agent shows up, right? There's a whole group of people that don't, but with the individual real estate office meetings, there tends to be a higher attendance. And then also you've got your broker there, so the broker very well may distribute this form to the agents as well. Just another way I was thinking that, as a realtor myself, would be a good way to get that out without having to constantly try to set up these meetings, but it'd be a good way to distribute that form to every agent in the office. Some food for thought.
No, I appreciate that, and thank you for that. Additionally, going back to kind of like the stakeholder meetings, these are saved on our website as well. So anybody that might have missed the meeting, they are posted onto our vacation rental website, so they can go back and watch the material that was presented.
Thanks. And I'm sorry, I don't know the person that was speaking back here. I don't know her. Hi. Hi, Veronica. I'm sorry, I don't know you.
Director for the Department of Special Program Compliance.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that. May I ask another question, but going back to your first slide, sorry.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't catch it before you moved on. I apologize. I think the outreach there, you said, goes out to is it all escrow companies within the city of Palm Springs, or is it escrow companies within the Coachella Valley, or what's the audience for that?
Coachella Valley.
Okay.
And to clarify, was that worth when we send out our email blast, the audience it goes out to, or was that a different outreach that you were speaking about as far as the escrows?
No, I was talking about the one that's your second bullet on that slide that directs all residential closing documents
Gotcha.
to include the information, include the disclosure.
Yes, correct. So that disclosure is on our website, and the communication that we've had sending that disclosure was to the Coachella Valley Real Estate, I think, group.
Any ideas how we reach out to escrow companies that are not local, that may be facilitating closings of Palm Springs properties in a different area? Sorry, I didn't know. I was addressing that to anybody who may ask. A veteran of the industry, or you guys?
I mean, myself, I took that, this feedback as just opportunities to look further and find out how we can reach, especially the out-of-area realtors.
Yeah.
And really, because that's what we see just from our daily operations is realtors from the outside of Palm Springs area that are marketing or selling homes that may not know the full rules here in the city of Palm Springs.
Yeah, well, I think we need to be careful about the distinction. So not the realtors, but the escrow or title
Escrow, yeah,
office that
true,
handles
too.
the closing is where we need to reach. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
No, you're right, but most people that are doing transactions in Palm Springs
Local.
are escrow companies, but then if it's a national escrow company, they could easily distribute.
We would just have to let them know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could ask them. I want to share those documents?
The way the admin reg is written is it's supposed to be included in every transaction that, for the city of Palm Springs. So any home that's sold, regardless where the realtor's from or the brokerage company, that document should be in there. That's how the admin reg is currently written.
I don't know if I've ever seen it myself, but escrow companies, just to see if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and it might just be an issue of us needing to resend it out. It's been a couple of years since we initially adopted that admin reg, so we can definitely send an update and ensure that we also, the larger title companies, especially that we work with a lot, you know, make sure they have it and explain that to them.
Okay.
That'd probably be helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions? Patrick, do you want to move on?
Yeah, I'll move on, thank you.
Thanks.
Additionally, just touch a little bit on additional communications that we may do here from an administrative process is we do have newsletters that go out as well, just kind of going over a topic of various topics of items. Again, that's kind of tied to who is subscribed to our email database though as well. Those include the online newsletters, as well as we do hold educational Zoom sessions where if we start noticing like a serious topic that we need to have an education session on, we invite participants to come join and just kind of have a hands-on experience as far as how to do something or the importance of doing something. However, those education sessions, though, have not been really well attended. One time we had one person, an additional, we've had maybe 20. So, and it's a lot of topics just from, a lot of times owners that says, maybe they just need clarification on how to do something. But again, those education sessions are allowed for anybody that receives the invitation. Really, it's again our email group. But we can additionally hold education sessions on maybe something geared towards realtors as well, or any other kind of stakeholder to help kind of drive the findings that the Administrative Appeals Board's found and try to help educate them regarding the need of a vacation rental certificate. So again, I think the recommendation kind of identifies opportunities where we can build on and reach out to additional stakeholders. And those mailers or the stakeholder newsletters we send out and the education Zoom sessions, those are online as well for just historic and for review for anyone that might have missed it.
Okay.
With respect to the recommendation of the contract summary reduction and the kind of guidance that the Administrative Appeals Board put in place with kind of like a reward system, we say if there was no violation found, that their contracts or reduction won't reduce for the year. We had no clarification on that. I think that's just a point that we'll present to City Council for them to view upon as well going forward. And so that's something that we'll move forward with when we draft the staff report here in the fall. With respect to recommendation about our online platforms, establishing rules and standards for like Airbnb and VRBO, et cetera, there is currently a state bill in the works. It's Senate Bill 346 that kind of is going to give some direction to local agencies and how they can help administer these online platforms as far as requiring them to provide specific information about properties such as address, assessor parcel numbers, and et cetera, and possibly maybe having the listing information or an ID or whatever to show that they are registered with the city. So we're kind of being patient as far as what that is going to entail and kind of what direction that's going to give us as a city, and then build upon it from there.
Any idea where that is in the legislative process? You said later this year?
I can't recall last. I think it passed it passed.
Oh, good, okay,
Moving, I know that.
okay.
And with respect to property management companies, I think that's more of an administrative process that we can review during application, is where we can confirm that they have a business license, require the property managers to have a business license, and add an added identifier in the application process that they kind of understand the rules with the city of Palm Springs as such. And currently, right now, in the administrative process, we don't look to see if a property manager has a business license. If not, we know agencies do, because they have to have a tax permit as such. But when it comes down to property management, if that's something we can bring in from an administrative process, just clarifying that if the property manager has a business license or not. Again, I guess there has to be a determination if that property manager is getting compensation, actually doing business in the city of Palm Springs, that would require a business license. But I think that is a process that we can look at internally to help close any gaps that might be found with respect to property management companies. But looking at the recommendations from the board, I think it does help clarifying, especially with the findings that we've seen, where we've had cases come up that talk about that they brought in a property management agents and they just didn't know. I think that's good direction as far as how we can kind of help, I guess, enforce more towards an agency compared to just all onto the individual owner themselves. So I think the direction's clear on that. I think we stated right here, just with respect to rental platforms and property management company, we didn't have any clarified items. I think the direction's clear from the Administrative Appeals Board, which will help when we go into our staff report with the council here in the fall. That's it. I think we just wanted to do a brief presentation. I think we appreciate the feedback and the hard work that the Appeals Board did providing this recommendation and directions. And we really just want to clarify that there were processes that we felt were partially in place, or places that we can really maybe find opportunities to build strength on. And I think the direction from the Appeals Board helps with that. And we just appreciate the time from the Appeals Board, and happy to assist any way we can and answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Great. I think we're sort of on the same page, so it's good. Is on. So, as I mentioned, I believe we're on the same page. We're just trying to revive this whole process so that we try to not have so many people coming in front of us over stuff that could have been avoided from the beginning. So you guys did a great job. Thank you. Any comments from the board?
No, thank you very much for the information. I just have a process question. Because I missed the last meeting where I think we finally moved this forward.
Yes.
So what happens from this point in terms of process? Like, it needs to go to council, right?
Correct. We'll be bringing back an agenda item in the fall regarding vacation rentals.
Okay.
Oops.
Tricky.
Sorry. Yeah, so the code doesn't specify exactly what process to follow after the board has made the recommendation. It just says that the board is allowed to make the recommendation. So I would defer to staff on what the process has been in the past. I don't believe there's a concrete process in place, at least not under the code.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. So we've received the recommendations from the Administrative Appeals Board, and the next step is for us to present a staff report to City Council, as Veronica mentioned, and those will be included into the staff report as far as section of Administrative Appeal Board recommendations.
Okay.
So when the city is presented with this information, will we get a response back from them in regards to any suggestions, changes that they recommend?
It would be presented as an agenda item, so you would be able to view the meeting and then see the feedback there.
Okay.
You would also be available to attend the meeting and make a public comment regarding your recommendations. After the first reading, we're given that direction of any changes to be made to be brought back the second reading. The second reading will be publicly available. You can read the staff report, see the changes and what would be adopted.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. So should we address the appellant now before we move on to board member comments? Okay,
Yes,
so,
Chair.
okay, so I'm just putting it out to the board. Does the board want to give the appellant an opportunity right now to see if they are ready to present, or do we want to let them, or do we want to postpone this for the next meeting?
Well, Cassandra, is there a way to tell if they've joined?
They have not joined.
They have
Zoom,
not
no.
joined, so we're in the same boat.
Okay, so then I'm going to put out a vote or a motion that we move this to the next, put it on the next agenda's meeting.
Chair, just
I
to
need a
clarify,
first.
the motion would be to continue this item to the next scheduled meeting. Correct.
Okay, so the motion would be, I'd like to put a motion out that we continue this on to the next board meeting. So could I get a motion? Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Board Secretary, can you take the vote?
I'm sorry, who made the motion and second? Okay. And the second?
And second.
Static.
Who made the initial? Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, okay. Board Member Corinne? Board Member Winderbaum?
Aye.
Vice Chair Parker?
Aye.
Chair Basili?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0 to postpone or continue the item to September 17th.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 6, board member comments. This portion of the meeting is set aside for general comments, announcements, requests of the staff, and/or other issues of concerns from the members of the Administrative Appeals Board. Do we have any comments, folks?
I have a question. Just out of curiosity, how much does the city take in from the penalties and the fines? Do you have a figure, Patrick?
I don't have that figure offhand right now. I can easily run reports and find out that if you want me to come back with that information, I can, or I can send it to Cassandra to distribute at a future time. Just offhand, I can't make up a number, yeah.
I think we made mention of it in the previous meeting, but yeah, we'll wait until you give that number to us.
And just to clarify, that is it for vacation rental penalties across with violations at current vacation rentals, or are we looking specifically at unregistered vacation rentals?
No, I was just curious how anxious the council is going to be to facilitate these if it's a significant amount that helps with the deficit that the city is facing. Might not be that amenative to enacting this, so.
Okay, well,
It was-
Chair, I would encourage the board to move forward at this time, just
Yeah.
because
Okay.
that piece of the agenda item was already passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At this time.
exactly. Okay, thank you. Next section is, this time is set aside for the city attorney to update the board on important matters initiated by staff or previously requested by the board. So Abe, would you mind? Any updates?
I have no updates.
Okay, all right. So, could we get the next meeting date?
The next meeting date is September 17th at 2 p.m. and it might be back in the large conference room depending on the progress.
Okay, all right.
Cassandra, will all of our meetings be at 2 p.m.? Is that sort of what we're projecting going forward?
Yeah, that's the schedule that was passed. I believe it might have been the meeting that you were absent
Yeah, I think it
from.
was.
But yeah,
Yeah,
we
okay.
Wednesdays at 2.
Yeah, no
Okay,
vacation
thank
for
you.
Okay. Okay, this time, 2:29 p.m., we're going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you.